Yeah, I mean, I think if you look at all of what's transpired over the last couple of decades, and I'd say always in advertising, is trying to find the best way to get to a customer, right? The best way to get a customer engaged. And always there's been this notion of like fascination and friction and how the two kind of work off of each other. We are so fascinated, always kids in the candy store, to try to understand what's next, be it AI today or storytelling yesterday or mobile before that. But then with that comes all this friction and trying to understand how do we take advantage of that and not make advertising worse for the consumer.
So what's been most productive developments of the last few years?
Yeah, I think this notion of understanding the difference between connection and convergence is really important to spend some time understanding. A lot of people talk about being converged, but they're actually just connected. And that's important, don't get me wrong, but it's not truly understanding the value of a true converged kind of technology and ecosystem to make the consumer actually love advertising. I do this because I think advertising is amazing. I love it as a consumer. I love it as a professional. But right now, we're creating a customer experience where I don't know if us as consumers enjoy the advertising on a consistent day in, day out basis. If you think about, the average consumer watching a single episode of some streaming show, they see the same ad 4 times, then they get hounded across the internet, then they see it again that night on their television, and they're not sitting there saying, wow, this brand has great reach or amazing frequency. They're actually saying, make it stop. And so I think what we're trying to do around how you converge the technology versus just connect it is going to help that consumer experience get much stronger.
What would be some of your advice to people getting into the business and moving up into leadership?
Yeah, I think first and foremost, with all the tools and technology, no matter who you are, no matter what level you're at, you got to get your hands dirty. You got to use the technology. You got to be familiar with the technology. I tell a lot of people, don't be concerned about AI taking your job. Be concerned about somebody that knows AI taking your job. So I think it's up to us as leaders and practitioners to make sure that not just us, but those around us are taking advantage of all the tools and technology. I think with that then allows us to figure out what are the things, and I've always been a proponent of how do you take the robot out of the human. So when we look at the tools and tech, it's to make the mundane easier and automated so I can spend more time being strategic and more time thinking critically. And so if you look at a lot of the rising talent in organizations, they're spending their time in spreadsheets. They're spending their time doing reporting or billing reconciliation, things that we actually want to automate so we can actually teach them how to be better critical thinkers, which will be what the difference is in an AI-driven advertising world. I think the future is going to be those who are curious are going to find themselves standing apart from those who can just work hard or have a good idea.